And but no, I agree. So I'm meeting him or them. It was cool, and I met Brent Adventure Time RC this year.
Right. Yep.
We spent almost the whole weekend together, which was just awesome. We had
I had a chance. He's a cool cat. I got a chance to talk to him.
Definitely. So we've been communicating offline a little bit, and met some other people. So bring up. So we are live for Saturday night RC chat. YouTube.
And then I gotta. Yeah. There we are. Sweet. Now I have chat.
You have it? Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for it actually right now.
Good evening, everybody.
Yep. Whoever's on, looks like we got 3 on. I am joined tonight. Hey, Brian. We've got JB the Voice from 11 Charlie joining us tonight. Oh, let me so JB the Voice, we met this past weekend at 11 Charlie officially. Got to catch up a little bit, and I asked if one of them wanted to come on because I got to spend a little bit of time around their booth and their cause, which is helping veterans. And I actually talked to a couple of veterans and spent some time just chatting RCs with one gentleman in particular. So I've spoke about their cause in the past. I think it's a great cause. If you don't know about 11 Charlie, one, I'm going to let Justin speak a little bit about it, obviously, but they have a website and they have Facebook page. I'm sure there's a few others, so I'll let you, if you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing and what you're all about. I'll let you take over.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Put you on the spot.
Absolutely. So what 11 Charlie does is we try to bring awareness to veteran suicide, and we try to help veterans with PTSD and other issues through the RC therapy. We do that by donating them a rig, tools, stands, batteries, lipo bags, chargers, you name it, everything that they need to get into the hobby so they can come out crawling with us. And then when they're out on the trail, if something goes wrong, we take care of them right then and there. And you're part of a brotherhood. So we always got your back.
Absolutely. And y'all brought, was it 19 veterans to USTE this past weekend? Is that right?
We did. Yes, we were able to bring 19 veterans to USTE. Food and lodging and transportation and stuff was, we were able to give 4 rigs away to the veterans that didn't have them, along with one of the veterans' daughters, and take them all out on the trails and have a great time. It was fantastic. It was something I certainly won't forget for anytime soon.
I agree. And I think I think it was Saturday. I think the veterans were just coming off the trail for the first time, I believe it was. And I had talked to Gabe prior on Friday, and I remember seeing smiles on everybody's face, but I asked Gabe in particular, how was it? He goes, I understand it now. He goes, it was great. I can't wait to go back out. So that was definitely awesome to see. Great job what y'all did there.
Yeah, Gabe is an awesome guy, and so much energy from that guy. If you have a chance to hang around him or even just to say hi to him, that's totally worth it.
Very positive guys. I mean, that was very, very positive, which is awesome to see. And I like the fact that he's not far from me, actually. So hopefully I can catch up with him in the near.
Well, in that rig that he got, did you happen to see the rig that
Beautiful,
he got?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, wow. That awesome rig. We talked about that one for a while on Friday, because he was like, asking, well, what kind of things can you do? And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, really, it's whatever you want to do, you can do. And he's like, I wonder if you could do some lights. And I'm like, oh, you can do lights. In fact, I sent him or showed him some pictures of some of my rigs with lights. I was like, look, this is some of what you can do with lights. And he's like, oh my God, I didn't know we could do that. Oh yeah. I was like, you want to do interior? You can do interior. You want to do really whatever you want to do, you can do. And he was blown away by what you could do. And he's like, oh my God, I see where this is going.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the last time I heard from him, he was talking about buying a trailer and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm very excited for him. I'm glad he took right off to it. So
absolutely, that is great. And I did see the video. I want to say it was XOKHRC's video where y'all did the giveaways on Friday, and I know that I think that was the one that you gave the one gentleman his daughter a rig.
Yes,
I've seen that in somebody's video. I don't know if it was XOKH or somebody else's, but I remember seeing that. And
I know that there was so many cameras right there. I couldn't tell you. It might have been Tony too. I know Tony was supporting us, and there were several people there. So Nathan, our PA representative, was going live at that time, so it is on our page as well.
Awesome. But yeah, I remember seeing that, and I mean, that was really cool. I mean, obviously bringing anybody new, in my opinion, anybody new into the sport of RCs is great, especially young people, getting them started early, as well at the same time you're already doing it for other reasons, more important reasons to help our veterans that are dealing with sometimes extreme circumstances from serving our country.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell he was very appreciative of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. All of the guys, a huge positive response from all of our veterans this weekend. I think everybody had a really great time. I didn't see smiles leave faces for 3 days. So
I agree. Yeah, even in the rainy weather that we had on Friday, which wasn't the best, but still was a phenomenal day, in my opinion. Even though it was raining like that, that's when I spent most of my time with Gabe that afternoon, and he was still extremely positive and thought it was awesome, and hopefully they got to spend enough time on the trails. AKBRC, welcome to the panel.
Hey.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let me slide that over.
So I'd like to ask you, Justin, since this was your first year, USTE, never been there before, and I've only been now twice, but getting somebody else's opinion on USTE that's just been there for the first time, overall, what is your opinion of that event?
Nathan had posted something about it being an experience, and I really resonated with those words. I truly believe it's not an event that you go to. It's something that kind of happens to you. And it's hard for me to explain it any more than that unless you do it yourself. So you really just have to go to USTE. The RC community comes together in a way I've never seen.
Absolutely. The amount of stuff, and for good purposes. I mean, y'all's cause is a phenomenal cause, but obviously there's even other causes going on during that event. I can't remember the name, but I know they support the one for kids for kids. And so I know, a good amount of money, I'm sure, was raised for that. And in particular, I mean, I seen it last year too. It was like every day they gave an RC to a kid under 13 that didn't have an RC. Just they gave them a rig, and we're not talking, cheap, $100 rigs either.
Right.
It's phenomenal. The amount of camaraderie and giving, how much giving. I mean, a lot of money was given to y'all's charity, which was phenomenal. I was glad to see, and to the kids' charity and everything. Just what you said, the way they,
Yeah, it was just like
Funny
the overall general support for everybody was just huge. I mean, there was no hate, there was no prima donnas. Everybody was happy, everybody was having a good time. I mean, I've never quite had an experience like that, and it was just awesome. And I want to go back. So
Definitely, I'm already ready for next year. Actually, is the funny thing. Hey, RVRC, welcome. Thanks for joining us in the chat.
I see I might have gained a new nickname over last weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the Madman.
Calling me the Madman.
Some of those shots, and like I was saying it before we went live, like you got some incredible shots at the Basher Park. So anybody that's listening, if you haven't seen any videos from USTE, there's tons out there. Exocage RC's got quite a few. Try to find some of the ones from the Basher Park experience, which was on Sunday. Some crazy RC and stuff going on. And JB was out there risking his life, honestly, at times getting shots out there. So, and I know you're probably still going through footage and stuff, but you sent me a picture of my rig and a short clip as well. And yeah, you were killing it out there.
I try. Everybody's calling it madness. I thought I was just out there having fun, but I guess I'm a little crazier than I thought. So
it was fun though. I mean, I had fun. The times I was out there with mine, launching mine, it was fun. And
it was a blast. Yeah,
absolutely. And what'd you think of that ending?
Oh, the fireworks is how Rob put it. Oh, that was fantastic. Awesome.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I was there last year and I didn't have anything to send off the ramp. I was just strictly watching, and I was like, I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, I'm bringing something next year. And that's what's nice too, is with that event, is obviously plenty to do for crawling, but I mean, there's really hitting all aspects, and it seems like I have a feeling we're going to see them expand even more in what they're doing. We got the semi trucks, which last year was the first year that they had those. They expanded that this year. The Basher Park, I think everybody that's into crawlers probably bashes a little bit, even if it's on the mild side.
I see my boss is here. I better behave.
Yeah. Good evening. And RVRC, I see your you do need to join one of the live chats with us. I'll reach out to you and see what we can do. And so again, for anybody listening, watching this even later, bless you, whoever.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good. But 11 Charlie, phenomenal group of guys. They're doing an awesome thing. My dad was in the military. He was in the Marines. Uncle was in the Army. Another uncle that was in the Navy. What they're doing is phenomenal, helping our veterans, giving them some outlet, hooking them up with some awesome equipment to begin with. I mean, all the rigs I've seen that y'all gave away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all of them were great. It wasn't that one was just better. It was just, they were all awesome in their own rights.
Well, you say that's actually a big part of it too, because like I bought a stock TRX4 Defender, and in about the first 5 minutes, the steering servo went out on it. So it's one of those things. We definitely don't want to hand a veteran a rig where they're gonna set it down and then the next thing you know, they can't drive it. Yep. So yeah, we go through, we put in the upgrades, we the motors, the ESCs and stuff, and we make it to where it's gonna last. So they can take it out, they can drive it day after day, and probably just throw it right back on the shelf and go tomorrow. So
absolutely. And I think I remember hearing, so I know y'all give them trucks. some spare parts, usually batteries, chargers, pretty much hook them up where they can just go and do, play, so to speak, if you want to call it that. But I believe at the event, and granted, we had, a lot of sponsors at that event, but I think I heard that they may have gotten some education on battery care and stuff like that from Helios, maybe?
They did, yes. Bauhaus and Helios, one of our sponsors, who are sponsoring us for batteries for the year for all of our veterans, which is fantastic. And I can't thank them enough for that. Yeah, David is an awesome guy. He hosted a class on batteries, and I tell you what, even I learned something there. So it was very informative and so awesome of him to do. And and that's like we talked about earlier, it's just one of those things about USTE. It's that community coming together to help each other. So
absolutely. And I love Helios and Bauhaus. I have quite a few of their products on different rigs. So in fact, I ran a Helios. I only have one Helios battery, but I ran it this weekend, and it was flawless. Gabe, thanks for joining the chat. This is Gabe's live chat that I'm just hosting. If you don't know, he wasn't able to host tonight, so I'm hosting it for him. Good to see him in the chat. And but yeah, that's awesome though that they got some some training or education. A better way of putting it in regards to batteries. I'm sure all of us could probably learn something from that.
Well, I mean, you guys know lipos are dangerous. I mean, normally they're not just going to explode on your shelf, but you do want to take careful of them. So, absolutely. We definitely don't want to put anything in the veterans' hands that's going to cause any drama. So,
great. So, a question I have for you, without obviously, giving away stuff that's not ready to be out. What's the plans this year for you guys for 11 Charlie? Like, that you're allowed to discuss, I should say. Like, anything.
Well, I mean, I know that at the debriefing of USTE, we did discuss being at Axial Badlands this year. And it is something that Operation 11 Charlie is seriously looking at doing.
And I would assume trying to take veterans to that, I would assume.
I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen there, but I know that our presence will be felt.
Awesome. Very good. That'd be great. So.
But we definitely want to hit up just about every event we can go to, and with representatives pretty much all over the United States, I'm sure we'll at least have someone somewhere. I know Proline by the Fire is one of the ones we discussed and stuff like that. So very excited for this year in Operation 11 Charlie. I mean, I need 22 trucks last year. I know we just want to double that. So.
Absolutely. Awesome. And so for anybody listening that would want to donate or, to give to y'all's cause, what's the best way for them to do that?
So we do have a GoFundMe page.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way to donate right to us. And I can drop that link here in just a moment. And then you can always check us out at 11charlie.com. There's a contact form in there that emails us directly. Also, for donations, really, I understand right now, John, I make sandwiches for a living. I mean, I don't make a lot of money. And it's tough. I get it. Not everybody can afford the newest and best RC. So, look, I mean, if you can't, just share. Just talk about what we're doing, because that's the biggest thing. And that helps us so much. So
absolutely. And that's why I'm, part of why we're doing this tonight. Like I want to help as much as I can. And Gabe, you're welcome, sir. And I see Trail Critter RC. He's one of y'all's guys, right?
He is. Yeah.
He's on. Thanks for joining.
Jake, you gotta watch Jake. He's a ninja.
But and I know y'all. I mean, I know at the event y'all are selling shirts, stickers,
Yes,
hats. I know Brent bought a hat. I think y'all sold out a lot of stuff, didn't you? At USTE?
I mean, I worked the booth the first day, and yeah, I mean, I think I had one hat left on the first day, and just a couple shirts, maybe about 10 shirts left or so. Maybe Javier can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, there wasn't much. And I mean, I know by the end of the weekend, I think all we had left was like 3 small shirts and 3 sticker sheets. So everything we took pretty much went.
That's cool.
Absolutely. And I know I've bought previously before the event, I bought some stickers and a patch and stuff through you guys, which I have. I should have it in front of me, but I don't. And I have that. So yeah, he's saying we almost sold everything on Friday. Awesome.
Right on. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Awesome. Very good. So if somebody does want to purchase something like a shirt or something, can they get that through the site? What's the best way for them to do that?
We do have a Teespring store. Let me see if I can find you the link to that.
All right, cool.
And I know that you can always reach out to us for merchandise too. We can get you hooked up that way. You know, I'm always on Facebook. Anybody wants to reach out to me on Facebook, I'm just Justin Brown. And Charlie. Oh my gosh, where are my sponsors?
And Gabe's just reinforcing that, yeah, Operation 11 Charlie shows some love and support. Great organization. And absolutely. Agree. When you do find your sponsor list, if you want to, I know y'all have quite a few sponsors, but if you want to just call out sponsors so people know who's backing you, by all means.
You know, let's do that here in just a little bit. Let's set that up for just a little bit, and we'll talk about the sponsors and everything. I like that idea.
Sounds good. All right, no problem. KBRC, anything new going on your end, sir?
No, just finishing my Traxxas Stampede 4-wheel drive body, making a bashing zombie apocalypse vehicle out of it.
Nice, so, very nice.
Just waiting for a roof rack put on it.
Okay. And I saw, I know Brian Marks is a RC drag racer, but I've seen they had that new RC drag car came out this week. I think a 68 Camaro, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that.
It looked pretty nice. So
those drag cars are so cool,
right? Brian, me and him communicate regularly, and he's usually sending me pictures. Losi, there you go, is a Losi.
Yeah,
beautiful looking body, great looking body on that thing. I don't know enough about the RC drag racing world to comment too much on it, but I know it was a great looking, aesthetically a great looking rig.
I know that a bunch of the guys did go down racing at Winn-Dixie there.
Saturday night, right?
Yeah, and I think if you check out Exo Caged, I think he caught a lot of that.
Yeah, I need to look at that. I knew they were doing it, and I wanted to go, but man, there's so much going on throughout the day. If you're doing the trails and everything, like I was just trying to get some rest for the next day.
Yeah, I think.
How many miles of trails did they have there?
Miles wise, I haven't heard the actual miles, but there was a total of 12 different courses, if you want to call it that. One of them was just hill climb, which really isn't any mileage. Then you have the mini course. But I can tell you, I definitely put some miles in that weekend. There's no doubt about it, because I hit every trail. And one of them even twice. And a couple of the trails are pretty lengthy. Like Trail 3 is a pretty lengthy trail. As he's saying, acres, definitely acres. And they've got room. They could still put more trails in there. So, and I was there last year and there this year. The trails were so much different. I mean, in the same general locations, but dramatically different the trails were from last year, which was awesome. Like I remember going on trail 2 and I'm thinking, oh, this trail, this is how it's going to be. I was telling somebody, hey, you're going to, and then all of a sudden, boom, there was stuff that I hadn't seen. And I'm like, oh, wow, like it is nowhere near what it was last year, which is awesome. The work they put in on those trails is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know how accurate the information is, but I did see Jeremy Kilborn ask that question in the USTE Facebook group, and I believe that somebody answered 11 miles of trails.
I can honestly see it. I mean, I really could, so I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely put some. I count my steps. I have a watch that counts my steps every day, and I had no problem hitting my steps each day. I can tell you that.
Right.
And just running across people on the trails or walking in between trails, and people commenting on each other's rigs, and all that kind of stuff is just phenomenal. Getting to talk to some of the vendors. I want to say there was, what they say, 24, 25 vendors, I thought I heard there. Yes, Gabe, you want to go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be a requirement. I know Adventure Time RC was there this year. I met him for the first time. We spent a lot of time together on the trails, and he's already said before he left the event, he goes, I think this is just going to have to be a yearly thing for me. Like, I got to come back.
So was that like at a park or, private
Yes.
place or,
Both, I guess you could say. It is. Justin probably knows it better than I do. So
it's a nature reserve. Is that right? I'd have
something gardens. It's a type of a gardens, like by what's it called? By
Cedar Lake Gardens.
Yes. So, and they own all this land. We're on the outskirts of the gardens, basically where we're set up, really in like a parking lot, really. And then the woods around it. So, and I remember, I think it was on y'all's live chat a couple of weeks ago, Monday night chat, when y'all had Rob and them on. I believe I remember him commenting that, within 3 weeks of this event being over, you can't tell the trails were there. Like everything grows over and everything.
I know they posted up pictures like 2 days after it was over, and there were cows out in the field already. And I mean, it just it was actually kind of disheartening. I was,
yeah. Just a minute, guys.
So Gabe's saying, so could you guys say UST is like the Woodstock of this era?
oh.
I don't know. That's a tough one, I think.
Without all the opiates, yes. I probably shouldn't say stuff like, I don't even know what else to say, but it's an amazing experience, Gabe. Like you said, it's something that when you're out there, you feel it. It's not an event you go to. It's something that happens to you.
Agree. Just so many good things going on. Each day there's raffles given away. So if you go, you automatically you get a number, and they raffle stuff off. And I don't think you can, make it clear to people how much stuff is given away.
Oh yeah. Rob doesn't like to talk about that a heck of a whole lot, but it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, I like just hundreds of dollars worth of stuff they raffle off to people. It's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And we're not talking cheap stuff either. Like, I mean, we're talking top of the line stuff being given away. In fact, Brent with Adventure Time RC, he won a Scalar Fab bumper for his Gen 8. It's a $70 bumper. He's like, basically, that's my entry fee for the weekend. Like, I just got my entry fee back. for it. Gabe, yeah, RC Heaven, 100%. In my 100%. But yeah, Holmes Hobby Motors, full rigs being given away, tires, rims or wheels, whatever you want to call them, bodies. I won from Proline a set of sand scissors from Proline. Last year I won a BEC Castle BEC last year. So small stuff definitely given out, but plenty of big stuff, 3D motors. I mean, just about anything and everything. I do think it was y'all's live chat a few weeks ago too that I think Rob commented that it's like over $20,000 worth of stuff given away over the weekend.
I mean, there's at least 3 or 5 tables. It's just an amazing amount of stuff. They just cover tables worth of stuff and start writing numbers on it. I don't even know how those girls do that.
Chips. They use chips. When I say chips, but I mean that's what I know it as. And the chips have the numbers, so when they pull it, they put it on top of the item, so they know what it is. I only know that because when I went up to get my item, and when I showed my bracelet, then she picked up the piece and it had the chip.
All right.
So, yeah, which I think is a good idea.
It was just an amazing amount of stuff. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely. And it's, I think, also important to say, like, a lot of stuff's given away from the vendors, but they're also at the same time have a box there that they're taking collections for kids. That I can't think of the name of that charity. I wish I could think of the name. I
know he said it too, and you think I could remember?
But a lot of people were taking the stuff that they were winning in the raffle and tossing it in that box. I mean, I know I saw at least one full RC tossed in that box, brand new RC still in the box, and they just put it in this box that's going to kids. Again, talking about the givingness of people in the RC community. That's a great example of it there.
Right. Yeah, definitely a lot of people paying it forward out there.
Absolutely.
You know what, Jake, I think you might be right. Crawlers for kids.
Yes, he is right. That sounds absolutely correct. Crawlers for kids. And I want to say that's out of like PA, I want to say is where they're out of. I know they were a part of it last year too. They were doing it. And so talking about the paying it forward, for me personally at this event this year, the one that got to me, and me and you've already sort of talked about this, was actually for you guys when y'all donated I believe a ready to run RC, to the event. And, they basically asked that everybody give what you could give, donation wise to give back to you guys. And I know at one point it was just over $1,000 that people, like in a blink of an eye, it seemed like that people were just running up there, tossing cash to them to give to you guys. And that was just like crazy to me. I mean, awesome, not in a bad way. Just it did me a little bit sitting there watching that all happen.
Well, yeah, after the year we just had, it, stuff like that, it is touching. You know what I'm saying? We had a rough year, and to see people come together like that is just amazing. But yes, that rig was really special. That the body was the Johnny Rains body that we had raffled off, and it's signed by him. And I mean, if you don't know who Johnny Rains is, please check him out. Amazing work, that guy, and one of our sponsors too. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anybody paint Lexon like Johnny Rains. But the gentleman who won the body gave the body back, but also had built a rig out of a Cross RC and donated the whole thing back. So we took it and we wanted to raise some funds at USTE, so we went to auction it off. But Rob raised funds in it, and they gave us back the rig there too. So I mean, just like I said, just the brotherhood and paying it forward was amazing.
Absolutely. So I didn't know they gave you the rig back, and that's awesome, because of course then y'all can use that rig potentially to build up or whatever and give to a potential veteran.
Yeah, I mean, Rob said he was going to make it happen, and he did. I mean, he's an amazing guy. So
absolutely, he's passionate about what he does, and it shows it all in a good way.
Hey, Barbecue.
I believe he was there, but I did not catch up with him.
I got to run into him. He's a cool cat. It was fun.
Yeah, there was a couple actually other YouTube people that I wanted to catch up with and didn't. So much stuff going on. In fact, I didn't catch the mud drags this year. Did you go to the mud drags by chance?
I did not. You know, you talk about being busy and running around. I mean, I was really running around, not just chasing RC cars, but with my boys and everything else. So
yeah, that would have been fun to see.
Yeah.
I like the mud, man.
Yeah, I wish I know that's one of the that is definitely one of the events I'm going to catch next year. So
I caught it last year. I did not catch it this year. There's definitely a few events that I missed. So Gabe said he had a question in mind for USTE. Let's say you want to go out on a trail and you brought more than one truck. Do you put your stuff away in your vehicle? Do you leave your tent there? How does that work? So me personally, my rigs are in the back of my car. I pull a rig out. I go drive for 2 trails, 1 trail, however long I want to. Like Friday, I ran 1 trail the whole day. Saturday, I ran 1 rig half a day, switched rigs. But I can tell you that people leave their tents up, tables out. To my knowledge, I haven't seen or heard of anybody messing with anybody's stuff. And I think that goes back to the brotherhood of the RC community.
I mean, I was running around with my my Hero 9, and I know there were several times where I just set it down and left it there. Nobody ever messed with any of my stuff.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. But me personally, I leave the stuff in the back of my vehicle and just swap out. And your boss was stating that y'all have 3 giveaways next month.
Yes,
it's my area.
We're not stopping the momentum. We just want to keep going.
Perfect.
So
perfect. Absolutely. And hopefully I can be at those and help out in any way possible. And Truck Critter says that you need a carry-all bag and carry a spare rig on your back. And I've seen people doing that too.
Carry All, a sponsor of Operation 11 Charlie. Mike George is an amazing guy. I got a chance to talk and meet with him. You know, I think that's one of the coolest things about USTE is all these really cool people that you hear about and see. You get to go meet them and talk to them, and they're just like us. I mean, they really are. They just hang out, they crawl, they don't care. That is a great experience.
100% agree. And I do remember from previous times that Rob's talked about the whole reason they started USTE was to bring the enthusiasts together with vendors, and it definitely does that. I talked to many vendors myself, about stuff. It's awesome to see the products firsthand, up close. Ask questions, and everybody's more than willing to give advice and help you out and everything. So,
do they make a 60 RC capacity bag? Gabe.
That's what he needs.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, I think Gabe, if you come to USTE, you're obviously not going to be able to bring all 60 rigs, but you're gonna have to decide, which ones to bring.
I'm just wondering what you're driving. If you got 60 RC cars with you, you got a minivan too?
Right. I think I brought 8 rigs in total, and my HHR was pretty much full.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 8 rigs plus a trailer, RC trailer. So, and I did not drive all 8. So I think I drove 6 of them. So. Sean's RC, how's it going? Thanks for joining.
What's up, Sean? And then I want to share this with you if you'll let me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Here we go. You let me know when you can see that.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have a short night tonight. I gotta help my wife do some stuff. So.
All right. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
And,
Have a good night. Thanks for being here.
I recognize that.
Does that look familiar to you?
Yes, it does. Very much so. I shared that the one. I don't know if this is the exact picture you sent me before or not. I think it was. I think you sent it before this rotation, the other picture, and I shared that with a few people, and they're like, and when I shared that video clip, they're like, "Hey, I think I seen when your tire came apart." And you definitely see it right there.
Yep.
So for anybody watching, that was my Traxxas Max that I was sending off the ramps really prior to everything getting started. And JB here was in harm's way getting pictures and videos. And I think one of the times my truck landed on your camera, I believe.
Yes.
I was like, oh God, I hope I didn't break it.
I had a couple camera hits, but I did not get struck, so I felt that was a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely got some great shots, and I'll be honest, just sending them off. I mean, the only thing that I broke or did anything was that tire. I mean, and I kept, as you know, even after the tire came apart, I kept sending it off the ramp, even with it.
I've got more. I've got some other shots. I know I've got some other shots in there where the tires just disintegrated.
Yes,
and it's fantastic. So
yeah. Absolutely. And I drove that rig back to the car and put it in the car. I just got to get some new tires. And Sean's RC, I'm working on my plans right now. I'm hoping to be at the Stone Mountain event on May 15th. I am trying to be there.
Now that's with Honey Lulu and stuff, and the Stone Mountain guys.
Fur Baby event at Stone Mountain in Georgia.
I do believe I ran into some of those guys, and you know, like I said, everybody was just so cool. It was just, you know, so shout out to those guys as well. I know that they've helped us before with you know, raising funds and stuff like that, and Wayne is a representative of us. They're just amazing people. So
yeah, I met them I actually met them just a few month or so ago. They were at the Wounded Warriors event here in Lake City. Event. They were here and I met them, Honey Lulu and Wayne, and awesome people. I had a great time talking with them and hanging out at that event.
They've been doing a lot of work recently to help our first responders, I believe, mainly the police force, but you know, just super amazing builds that he's been doing for those guys and stuff like that, and just cool stuff. So
absolutely agree. They've done some great body. That first one they gave away to the police force, that was a beautiful rig.
Yeah, the Sandy Springs rig, I believe, was phenomenal stuff.
Absolutely. He's got so much energy. Meeting him in person, he's a lot of energy, which is awesome. But yeah, I am trying to get to their event in May. I've never been to Stone Mountain. I hear I should. So I'm trying to get up to that event for sure. I believe Exopage RC is going to be there as well. So, but
yeah, it would be nice to have Gabe in here this evening, but I hear he's a little busy.
Yeah, he may still even be at work. I'm not sure if he's still at work or not.
People do that. That's a thing,
right? Yeah, sad for me that Tuesday was my first day back to work. I had been off for just over a week prior to, I took the week leading up to USTE off plus Monday, so it sort of sucked going back to work after having all that fun. Definitely.
And there's a little bit of I don't know, there's just a little bit of stardom that rubs off just a little bit. You kind of feel like everybody knows who you are. You get to get through the weekend and people say your name and stuff like that, and you're talking to people, and then you go back to work and it's like okay.
Yep. I completely understand what you mean.
A little bit of magic, I should say. There's a little bit of magic to that event. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely 100%. See, I'm trying to post the link. I don't know if it'll work. This is the Facebook link to the event. I hope it works. For you guys, to that event that the Kibblers are putting on. It's actually for charity for animals, dogs and cats. I mean.
I believe it's for vets as well. I mean, it's animals for vets. So
okay. Let me read the thing. I actually have it pulled up here.
It's been a minute, and I mean, I do browse. Okay, because I see so much. I apologize. I'm a busy guy.
So it's called Fur Baby Fun Crawl is what the name of the event is. So raise money and food donations. So they're looking for dog and cat food or donate funds and it's for the Cobb County Animal Shelter.
That is correct. Yeah, it's a rescue animal shelter. Yeah. Okay.
Which I know they have all their animals that they have or dogs they have adopted, and I can say that I have 3 dogs technically, and we've adopted all 3 of our dogs. Also, they've been phenomenal. And Sean said that Fern Solo will be there also, which I know that's pretty close to where he's from. Yeah, I agree. Weekends are for fun and not for working, but unfortunately, you never know what you might have to do on the weekend. I usually don't have to work the weekends, but I did have to make a phone call today for work. So
I typically work Saturday mornings. It's not very long, but otherwise, I'm a third shift person myself. I work at night, so.
I did that many years ago. I worked in a nursing home for 5 years, and I worked second shift, but sometimes I would work over. I ain't gonna lie, I love being on the day shift.
So now I know we talked about the sponsors earlier. I am prepared if you don't mind.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Sure, and I know we just keep adding to this list, and I do apologize if I miss someone. I know we're updating this list currently as we speak. There are about 3 sponsors that are coming that I can't say too much about, but we're very excited for. So, IERC Scalar, JJ Customs, Dixieland, D&D Sports, Reefs, 307 Scale Hobbies, Team Tactical Foundation, Carry All RC, RC Amigos, RC Pit Products, Johnny Rains, Eric Warren and Adventure RC Trucks, Scale Metal Supplies, Shen RC, Big Squid RC, Fab, Scale Audio Solutions, USTE, Helios, Bauhaus RC, and we'd like to give a shout out to Mission 22 and Wounded Warrior Project for all their support.
Awesome. Some great sponsors there. Some great companies.
You still want a sandwich. Everybody wants a sandwich.
I was just about to highlight that. And I'm trying to find it here. I have some pictures from that I took from USTE. Some of it's trails, some of it's different RCs. Most of it's trails. So I'm gonna try to share the screen here. And
for sure, I want to see what you got. I love.
So let's go here. So this is my TRX4 out on the trail, and I know this was Sunday because it's the only day I ran it. This is the mini course for 124 scales, and this was me in Adventure Time RC on the 124 scale. I remember playing with these
Lincoln logs. I
in
believe.
logs. Yes, as a
Yeah.
kid, type thing. So there was another building. That's my SCX 24 in the beginning of the course. Another one on my TRX. I know I got some. This was Venture Time RC's rig, and also Team Sergeant RC, who I met, who was down from Michigan. So the people coming from all the different areas. Venture Time from Ohio, Team Sergeant from Michigan. Justin, where are you from?
Grand Junction, Colorado.
Okay. AZ Froggies RC, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Disease.
Some more pictures. Just some different places we were taking, just wherever. I remember this one. This wasn't on the course.
I like that though. Yeah.
I went off course to find this one.
Don't let Rob hear you say that.
Yeah. Actually, this is from the other side, which was I don't know. It hit me. Had to.
Oh no, for sure. Look at that. Yeah, that's a great spot.
And this trail too, like that trailer was sitting there. Like I just backed it up to look like I was pulling the trailer.
Oh, slick.
Okay, so yeah, like the trailer was sitting there with all this other stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna back up to it and get a snap a picture. So this was what, myself, Adventure Time RC, and Team Sergeant group with his 3 kids.
Cool.
Together, one of the bridges with my Gen 8, and I know there's videos and pictures of some of these bridges, and I don't know if people understand it's not one bridge. There's like 3 or 4 of these bridges. Just one of them is very, very long, a good like 70 feet, I believe, and then some of the others aren't quite as long. I like this shot personally.
Yeah, that bridge is cool too, for sure.
Definitely. That was Trail 8, I believe. Maybe Trail 9. It might have been Trail 9. Yeah, some of the 3D motors one of the vendors had. I took a picture actually for my friend. Gotta love his stuff. RC every day. His builds are, oh my god! And I'm so glad to see. I got to see the, the big trailer he built and stuff. I've been watching that build on his channel, and it was like so cool to see. Oh, my tickets.
Hey, some tickets.
Yep. And there we go.
Nice.
This is another bridge separate from the one that you've already seen a picture on. This is another bridge.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to see this bridge. I wish I would have.
This was on Trail 5, I think. I want to say it was on, or Trail 6, one of the two.
So did you catch this question here from Gabe about, does USTE have a class or regulations, or is it just
good question?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I get excited. I apologize.
No, absolutely. So it's not a competition, Gabe. I mean, there is, and they say that, and I know that's the big thing, is it's not a competition. There is a couple things that, particularly like the gala, as they call it, which is what I'd call a car show for the RCs, and they do give out some awards for. But on the trail piece, it's just you, your rig, and trails and friends. Really, it's just go out, have fun. There is some races with the vintage buggies and stuff, and obviously that's a type of a competition. But generally speaking, this event is not about competition. So you can bring any crawler you want. Venture Time ran his Wendigo that he likes to crawl with on a lot of his stuff. So you can bring whatever you want to bring to crawl, really.
I'll be quite frank with you. I did not. I have a Vanquish. I have an Ultra, and I love it. But I did not bring it with me because I heard that this was a dollhouse event, and so Rob Matthews actually loaned me a rig to drive while I was there. And to be quite frank, in my experience in the time that I was there and watching other people crawl, it really is a tiny truck. Take a tiny truck. Take a truck that the wheels fit underneath the truck. That that they're a nice small wheel. That it actually looks like it, and I feel like you're gonna have a much better time with the experience. It's just a personal opinion, but I really enjoyed the challenge of trying to crawl a tiny truck through some of that stuff. And I think that with my Vanquish, I'd have just slaughtered those trails. So
absolutely agree with you. And so I said I took 8 rigs to that event. One of my 8 rigs that I took was actually my Comp 2 rig, and I really didn't bring it to drive it, which I did not drive it. I just brought it just in case. And again, I did not drive it, and it would have, it would have slaughtered everything there. On Friday, I ran my Class 1 competition truck, Element Enduro, on small tires. I ran it the whole day on Friday, mostly because of the wetness and how it rained. I didn't want to have multiple rigs muddy, so I just used one rig. But I had so much fun, and it did everything that was there. I mean, a couple of times little challenging places, but technically it did everything there. So the trails aren't difficult. Leaf spring trucks can have some difficulties in certain areas, but generally speaking, if you take your time, you're going to be able to get through it. So it's definitely the dollhouse event, but they don't turn their nose up to anybody that shows up with a TRX4.
Oh yeah, you can bring anything and run what you want.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
You just ask that you don't rip up the trails.
Yep, absolutely. And so like this picture here that's my Gen 8, and yeah, so Gen 8s are a big bodied vehicle, and it's a little big for some of the scale stuff, but
still though, I mean, it's about tiny trucks, isn't that?
Absolutely. I had my 6x6. I drove it for part of the day on Saturday and had fun with it. That's Venture Time's Gen 8 Axe Edition, and we ran for a while. But even my 6x6, this building, I backed it right in there and took this picture. And
well, that was another cool thing, and I should have known, and I guess I didn't really expect, was all the little ads, the little houses, the little, gas stations here or a little village there and stuff like that. I did not realize how much they put out there, not just making the trail, but making it to where, you could pull up and take a picture here or there. And it's very scale.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping we'll come across the picture in a moment of maybe my favorite one. So this is the big bridge that most people see the videos of. This is a 70-foot bridge.
I love that bridge.
Please tell me I have a better picture, because I did not know it wasn't that clear.
I might actually have the Team Operation 11 Charlie picture.
And yeah, we can show that one for sure. But there, that bridge there, this was actually some of my locals and myself that were on this one. That bridge is just phenomenal. Phenomenal is all you can say. I mean, everything there. I mean, and these bridges are well made. Like, this isn't something that you're worrying about it falling off. I mean, this bridge was there last year. They are extremely well made and put together, and they wrap this stuff up and they have it for the following year. A couple of RC Supremacy's drift vehicles that he had, which is pretty cool looking. He was out there taking tons of pictures.
Oh, man. Brad is such a cool guy, and it was so much fun to talk to him about film and run into him and stuff like that.
Yeah. He stayed quite busy himself out there.
Yeah, I thought I didn't stop moving. That's probably one guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the semi trucks, I didn't get to spend as much time around the semi trucks this year as I wanted to.
Neither did I.
So for anybody who's into competition for RC crawling and you don't know, J Concepts has come out with some new bodies, and this is one of them. It's a licensed Ford F-150 body that is trimmed and tucked in the front and the back already for you, an Lexan body, which I think is phenomenal. And I know we just had Proline come out with a Toyota body for that as well, which I think is awesome that some of these companies are coming out with bodies that are more specified to crawling competition.
Now, I know I've heard you drop Proline a couple times tonight. Do you know Corey Allen? Did you run into Corey?
No, I do not.
Yeah, okay. So Corey Allen been Proline and Reefs and stuff. He's an amazing guy. He came over and gave us a bag and all kinds of Proline goodies for our vet. I just want to shout him out.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. A couple more scale buildings. Still trying to. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, and that stuff was so cool because, like, if you're a film guy like me, or if you like to take pictures, I just thought that was so neat. You could pull your rig up and you could set it up and you could have your own shot that maybe you just can't get when you're out on a trail, you're by yourself or something. So,
absolutely. Yeah, the scale stuff that they do.
Yeah, that bridge was just so cool. I actually, we did strap a camera on the front of one of the veterans' rigs and run the whole bridge. And
Awesome.
From start to finish, I believe the whole clip is 2 minutes and 47 seconds long. So, I mean, that bridge, it takes you a minute to get across that bridge.
Absolutely. It's not, I mean, and you don't want to go across it fast because, it does move. It's a bridge. It moves.
Yeah.
And like this, I remember this from last year and this year. I mean, this is a tree. I mean, not much of a tree left, but it's a tree, and
so
there's an opening, and the trail goes right through the tree. I mean,
I've seen the pictures. I wish I could have seen it. I can't wait to go back next year and see what I didn't see. And I think that's one of the other things too. You're not going to see everything in the first year. There's no way. You're not going to be able to check everything out while you're there. There's just so much.
It's extremely difficult. Last year, I was there for all 3 days, and my recommendation to anybody, and I'm sure you could probably, might have a different recommendation or maybe the same. If you're going to go to USTE, you plan to go for all 3 days.
Yes.
A single day is not going to do it justice.
Won't be enough because, and it was funny because when the veterans and I were out crawling, and Javier and all of us, when we were out, there were people I know who came to that event who didn't quite know what it was until they got out there. And then they got out there and they were like, we love this. We want to do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely. If you're planning on going, plan on go for all 3 days. It's well worth it.
Absolutely. Last year I went all 3 days. It was my first year. I pretty much hit everything. I hit all the trails last year except for the hill climb.
Wow.
But I hit all the main trails. I went to the mud drags. I think I missed the monster truck racing. Basher Park. But I went to pretty much everything. This year I missed the mud drags. I did get all the trails, including the hill climb. And then one trail I even did twice. I think the trail 3 I did twice, and that's one of the longer trails. That's the one with the long bridge. But did everything, but still missed plenty of stuff too at the same time.
Right.
But I did run into a guy in the parking lot. I think it was Saturday. He did all the trails in one day.
Oh, wow.
But that's all he did was a trail. Basically, he was by himself. He got there and he just went to trails and he just kept going.
Yeah. Wow.
For people like you, myself, Venture Time RC, who likes to take videos and pictures, or if you're there with any group of people, even if it's just a couple, it's very difficult because you end up stopping to take pictures or you're talking as you're driving, which is awesome in itself, just having that camaraderie. But he just got there, hit the trails, and was there for a single day. But to me, it's still not enough.
Right. I mean that's an awesome experience in and of itself, but I mean there's so much more too. So
this was my favorite scale piece from there was this, which was on Trail 2, towards the end of Trail 2.
Little water tower is killer.
And it's a running water tower. That's real water coming out, and you can't quite see it because that's my element there, and behind it there's one of those water wheels, and that water's pouring down and turning the wheel.
Oh, how cool.
So the scale aspect of that piece right there to me is, there's plenty of nice scale things out there. That one right there, the size of the trucks that we used in this picture are almost perfect size-wise. So yeah, some phenomenal.
Well, scale's all relative, right?
It is. It is. But yeah, just some great items out there in different types of bridges, like this bridge here. This was on Trail 2
Oh,
last year. This
wow.
Trail 8, or 9 last year, one of the two. Just
Yeah, like you said, there's so much stuff I didn't see that I wish I could have seen. So
yep, yep. And there was so much more than last year for me.
now I know, I think Rob dropped hints at next year being 800 or something over 800 people. So
Yep.
very exciting. I know it's only going to get bigger and better.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind, especially what I've seen this year compared to last year. I picked this up. So Reefs RC, anybody? They have a new tool out. I think it was released this week. The event had not been released yet. So it's a multi-tool. It has nut driver, everything in it. And I picked it up on Friday. They only had like 2 or 3 of them left on their thing. And I was like, oh, let me take that right now. But it hadn't been released yet. I haven't even opened it, but it comes in a nice carrying case. I held the display model, really nice piece.
He makes great, and a sponsor of Operation 11 Charlie. He makes great stuff. Got a chance to actually go crawling with him and his boys, and just, oh gosh, oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful body.
Those drag cars were something else.
Yes.
But I mean, I like that's the cool thing is, like, if you ask these guys, if you go over and ask these guys at the booth, hey man, when are you gonna go crawling? They'll probably let you know and let you go hang out with them and stuff. So I mean,
I was so glad to see this in person right here.
Oh, the DeLorean too.
Yes.
Jeremy.
This truck. That was that craftsmanship right there is seeing that kind of stuff in person. I know a lot of the stuff we see in videos or whatever. It's that was my preparation.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. So, and I just saw Sean. You're saying we might have ran into each other. We were. I was at the Mud Drags last year, videotaping at the one end. I probably didn't know it was you there. I wish I'd have known. Hopefully, you can make it next year, and I definitely plan to be there. So,
I miss Sean. I wish he was there. I know I had a couple shots in mind that. I mean, Sean's got driving skills like no one else. So.
There's a lot of good driving you see out there, especially these guys that are really into the super scale leaf spring rigs and stuff. I'll be honest, leaf spring isn't my favorite thing. It really isn't. But there's some guys out there that are phenomenal with it.
Yeah, very. I didn't see a lot of people driving them 2 at once though.
No, I agree with that. Definitely don't think I've seen any of that going on for sure. But yeah, if I had any piece of advice to USTE people, the only thing I would ask, would give them advice on is the food truck situation.
Oh. And it was funny because I know that, we obviously had to feed our veterans and stuff like that. So we were taking care of that behind the scenes. So it was a brief conversation that we did have. And I mean, I can't talk a heck of a whole lot about that stuff. But yeah, I didn't touch on the food truck much, but I did hear it was rather disappointing. So I don't know. Hopefully maybe we, USTE or us or anybody, maybe that can be taken care of in the future. So.
Yeah. Last year I was there, and actually the food truck that was there last year, I mean, to me, it was good. I heard other people complain about it. I had no issues, and it was a reasonable wait of 20 minutes or so for food last year. This year I went on Friday to get food about 2:30ish, maybe 2:20. And she's like, "Have you already ordered?" I said, "No, ma'am." And she goes, "I'm just gonna let you know it's roughly a 2-hour wait." I'm like,
Oh wow.
"Yep, it's not worth it at that point at 2:30 in the afternoon." So I didn't even try again after that. Now my buddy did get stuff on Sunday while we were doing the Basher Park and doing all that. He went over and got some quesadillas, and he actually gave me one. And I will say the quesadilla was rocking. But I think he got everybody with the perfect time when everybody was over tearing up rigs.
Right. Well, I do know that Javier ordered some of those, and I mean, I did get a chance to try a quesadilla, and they were great. But like I said, I didn't go up to the truck myself.
Yep.
I was running around a little too much, so. And I do know that there was a period of time in there between the time I was asked if I wanted food and between the time I got food. So.
Yep. Yep. Now, if I can ask for the veterans now, did y'all use the food truck there? Did y'all have something else set up prior for taking care of you guys?
Well, it was this year. I'll tell you. I'm just going to say this about we learned a lot. there was some miscommunication about food and some stuff like that, but it all got taken care of. We have an awesome team, and people were willing to jump in and step out and help up. And I mean, people got fed. That wasn't a problem at all. But we're definitely going to be much more prepared next year. So.
Okay. Cool. Definitely want our veterans to be taken care of.
Oh yes,
absolutely. And Gabe was saying taking a lunchbox, an actual box, not the van to USTE.
Check.
Yeah, I brought me some crackers and stuff each day, and I will say for anybody who hasn't been, there is fast food really relatively close, not far away at all. So you can easily. You can go get fast food or something if you want.
I'm not entirely sure what the rules were either. I mean, you'd have to double check with USTE and Rob, but I do believe that if you had a propane grill, you could go ahead and use that, make yourself some food.
That'd be a good one to know the answer to, because that actually wouldn't be a bad thing to do.
It'd have to be at your vehicle and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But yes, I do believe he mentioned it. I mean, don't quote me on that for sure. I'm not going to take words from Rob, but I also know that there was a bunch of people who wanted me to make sandwiches. So.
I actually did hear that. I did hear that. For sure. Yeah, how about an RC with your lunch in it? I think that's a great idea.
Right, a real Tomea lunchbox.
Yeah, and drive it around and deliver sandwiches that JB makes to people.
There you go.
I think that'd be a great idea. And deliver, or RC deliver the sandwiches with a lunchbox RC.
That sounds like a great excuse to get a trailer for a rig.
Right? Absolutely. Did you see some of the trailers, some of the rigs? I mean, and I'm not talking the semi-trailers. I'm talking some of the. I brought a trailer and I didn't even pull it out, but I saw some trailers there and I'm like, oh my God. Like
there was so much cool stuff. When the guys were getting ready for a run and everybody was getting set up in batteries and transmitters, receivers, such, I was standing out in front of the booth with one of Rob's rigs, just kind of running around and greeting people at the booth. And there were some guys who rolled up with trailers and rigs, and I mean everything. I just couldn't help but just like get down on the ground and stare at this stuff. So very cool.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful stuff out there. You see everything from you're ready to run rigs to absolutely crazy scaled out vehicles. It's absolutely amazing type of stuff you see out there. So definitely had a blast. Can't wait till next year. I know I heard hints that they've already got things in the works for next year, and doing changing some stuff up. And
I mean, somebody told me there were dates up already.
Somebody posted on one of the. It might have been the USTE page. Somebody said, "Do we know the dates for next year?" And somebody responded with the dates, but I didn't recognize the person, so I don't know if those are official. So, but somebody did respond and say it was this date or these dates. But once I know they're official, I will go ahead and put in my time.
Right? Absolutely.
I mean, thankfully for me, I'm only like 2 hours from there, so it's not far distance for me to get there. But it's definitely a go-to place for me. And even my buddy came on a Sunday and seen me, hung out with me for the day. He did it last year too, and he's not necessarily into RCs, but he's into action figures like Star Wars, stuff like that, and he likes cars in general. That's how we met, was through real cars,
Oh, heck
and
yeah.
particularly like Chevy Novas and stuff. So, but he enjoys walking around and looking at all these awesome things that we see in the vendor row. Like he went through there and looked while we were at the Bachelor Park. While he was waiting on his food, he went and walked through and seen the Element had quite a few drag cars in their booth.
Yeah.
And of course Reese RC did as well. Like he's checking all that stuff out and was like, that's cool. Like so he enjoyed being there and checking out everything that we had to offer. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. It's slightly overwhelming in the fact that there's just so much there.
Agree. Absolutely. I really feel like there's a little bit. I feel like there's a little bit of everything there for everybody in the RC side of things. And Gabe, another question: is there porta potties everywhere at UST?
I don't know, John. I mean, the only ones that I saw were in the parking lot area, if you will.
Yeah. So they're not everywhere, but they're in the same place they were last year. So I'm assuming they probably put them in the basically same place every year. They're in the parking lot, and I've never had to wait to use one. So I want to say there's like 6 or 8 or so there, but it's never been a wait to use one.
There was quite a few.
Yeah. It was the same as last year as well in that regard. So.
But yeah, I had the same experience when I needed it. It was there. I never had to wait for anybody.
Yep. Absolutely. Trying to think what else I saw or done or experienced while I was there.
Like you talked about Element and their drag cars. I did get John and then Peter Lubbard from Trio, and those cats are amazing cats. Those fun guys to hang around and be with, and those Element builds that they brought with the flames and stuff. Wow.
Yes, beautiful rigs. Speaking of, Gabe would appreciate this, and I did not take a picture of it, but Element was there, and they did have the new Sendero. Their Sendero was it HD or whatever they call it. They had the one, and in fact, I seen pictures or video of it out on the trail. I believe they had it out on the trail at some point, but they did have one there this weekend. I wish I had taken pictures of it. I should have. I just didn't think about it. So,
and I might have, but I mean, I have so much.
I know you have a lot of footage and stuff to go through. I still do too. I've downloaded most of my video off of my GoPro, but I had stuff on my GoPro, and then I had stuff actually on my second phone that I have that I also record on. Haven't pulled everything off my phone yet. But I still got a ton of videos to go through and a lot of editing to do.
Right. Yeah. No. I know that I have enough. I'm actually I'm working with Rich Homan, who is another representative in California, to help go through it all and to pick the right moments for an Operation 11 Charlie video. So we will be working on that.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing that, particularly with the veterans and stuff out on the trails. Because I wish that would have been one thing. I wish I could have followed y'all and saw some of the veterans out there and how they were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, like we said, I didn't catch the tractor trailers or anything like that, but I mean, crawling with those guys was well worth it. It's just something. Those guys have so much energy, and when they're out there, they're just having a good time and laughing and smiling and having fun. I mean, it like I said, after last year, it really just kind of brings tears to my eyes. I'm so glad that humanity hasn't died.
Absolutely. And definitely you can, at that event, you would never realize some of the stuff that we've dealt with as a country or world in the last year, just if you were judging just based on the event itself over the weekend, you wouldn't know it. So if anybody happens to be new and doesn't know, we have Justin, JB, the voice from 11 Charlie on.
Good evening.
11 Charlie was at USTE this past weekend. They brought 19 veterans to the event, all expenses paid, if I believe right, for the veterans.
Yep, lodging and food, and if they needed rides to the event and everything. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. So they were there. I was able to spend a little bit of time and talk to some of the veterans. They gave out 4 rigs, I believe, including one to one of the veterans' daughters as well. So I got to spend some time speaking with some of the veterans. One in particular is from my area. Very, very humbling experience for myself, honestly. Just, talking with them and the joy on their face that I saw just getting the rigs. But I seen them on Saturday when they came off the trail from the first time, and they were I don't know if there's a great way to explain it, but they were smiling, they were happy, they were like, I get it, I understand it. Seeing that I thought was awesome for our veterans, especially coming from myself, a military background family. It was awesome. So what 11 Charlie does is phenomenal. What they're doing for the veterans. And taking care of our veterans and helping them. So please, if you haven't and don't know, check out 11 Charlie on Facebook, and they have a GoFundMe page. Donate if you can. They have shirts, hats, stickers. All that goes to take care of our veterans. I hope I hit all that right for you.
No, you nailed it out. Thank you so much. What is it? Monday the 8th. And I'm gonna drop the bomb here on Javier, but Monday the 8th, I have to go into work. You wanna come on the show and co-host?
To me?
Well, you're doing a good job.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, but if y'all wanted me on, I'd gladly come on.
We could talk about that sometime. I thought I'd rise you a little bit there.
Javier, you're welcome. I really like what you are doing, and was telling JB earlier before we went live, I was with my dad today, who used to be in the Marines, and actually I was telling him about what you are doing and everything, and filling him in. He thought it was really cool. This might be putting the cart before the horse just a little bit, but I'm trying to. I recently inherited a 3D printer from a good friend of mine, and so I'm learning the 3D printing stuff and finding stuff to print, RC related, not RC related. And I'm actually, so my dad was in the Marines, and he wanted a Marine emblem, and I actually found one online and 3D printed it for him. And my mom is painting it. My mom's very artistic, and so she's painting it so it looks like the actual metal version of it, even though it's not. So I'm actually looking for something that I can 3D print that I could give to you guys to give to the veterans. I'm not sure what that is yet, but I'm looking and trying to see what I can come up with.
Oh, very cool.
That's something. Trail Creator says you better send over some sandwiches if you're not going to be there.
I see that. That's very cool. Thank you for his service. And I don't know if I mentioned it to you at the event, or if both my parents served. I'm an Army brat, so I mean that's how I got involved. I know in the beginning when Javier was starting to do this and everything, I approached him and I was like, "Hey, man, we need to do a talk show. We need, And originally, oh great, I'm fine. I'm fired. Oh well, I can say what I want to now. No. Oh boy. But in the beginning, I originally there was a whole script for the first show and everything, and I'm just so glad I could get to be a part of this too. It's just an amazing thing I think we're doing, and I wasn't really going to go off on this, but I'm going to go ahead. Gabriel George, if you haven't heard about this guy, what an amazing guy. Gabriel George is on the Big Show on TBS. He is an archer with one arm. He calls himself the one-armed archer. And it's awesome. He shoots a bow with his teeth. It's so crazy. But I mean, there's a guy who doesn't let anything stop him. And having him crawl with us was just so energizing, and I think it brought the life into everybody else. So yeah, I mean, when you're out there and you see these guys and you get to crawl with them, it is quite the experience. It is something you don't forget.
Agree. He was very, very positive person, and he doesn't. I mean, the little bit of time I spent with him, you spent more time, but the little bit of time I spent with him, I could see he doesn't let his, disability by no means affect him. From what I could see from my little bit of time. And Gabe commented that, anytime you guys want to join on Saturday nights, you're more than welcome to join. And I agree with that. When Gabe's able to, he hosts it. I pick up the slack when he can't. So,
I know you guys are on, and I've watched some of the shows afterwards. It's just normally I work Saturday myself, so I spend Saturday night with my wife, and then Sunday we try to get ready for the show on Monday. So it's always something. But
I understand.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'll definitely. I mean, I want to jump in one of these Saturdays. It's been fun hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been glad to have you on tonight. I'm glad you were able to get on. So thanks for joining us, Javier. I reached out to him hey, if either one of y'all want to join, because I was planning to talk about USTE, and I think you guys were a big part of USTE in many different ways. Maybe more than y'all anticipated to be. Yeah, they want tacos now?
They're giving me a hard time over here. You find somebody else to get underneath the Raminator while it's 6 foot in the air.
Right? Was that not insane seeing that thing jump?
Oh man, it's so cool. I never thought I would actually see a Raminator, let alone see it jump 6 feet in the air.
Right? And it jumped well. It did it very well.
Yeah. Nick Barber, who owns the truck, said it handled beautifully in the air and everything. He said he had no trouble driving it.
Yeah. Did you see Exo Cage's slow-mo of that? Where you can actually see how the tires compressed, how close to the ground that you got? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I tried to slow it down that much, but mine didn't quite come out the same way. So.
That was just phenomenal, though. It was cool when he sent it off the small ramp. That was cool. That was awesome. When he was lining it up for the big one, I'm like, oh wow,
right. Oh, for sure.
And I think it surprised everybody how well it did. It jumped extremely well.
I do have a picture of it if I can just figure out how to use a computer.
Basher Park on Sunday. That's just awesome.
There you go, Basher boy.
Let's bring this up. Oh, you got right. Wow, that is awesome. And unfortunately, that picture doesn't show how big that thing really is.
No, not in that picture. It sure doesn't.
No.
Let's see if. Oh, that's just a clip. Okay. It's just some random.
That thing is massively.
Oh, wow.
It's a massive truck.
I did, yeah, I did catch quite a few good pictures of it. But yes, it's huge. I mean, that truck weighs 80 pounds and has a 49cc gas motor in it, so it's like a moped in the air.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
But yeah, you definitely got some good pictures of a lot of different stuff. But yeah, just to see, I'd never seen a Raminator before at all. So to see a Raminator and then to see one jump on a big ramp like that was just phenomenal.
But that's I mean, that's USTE. That's USTE right there. Is you're going to see stuff and do stuff you never gonna get to do anywhere else.
Absolutely. That's I don't think you need a better way to put it. Things you won't expect you're gonna see or do or be a part of. So, and I'm sad I missed the I mean, I've seen the pictures and the videos of Big Squid doing his
Oh yeah.
I wish I had seen that in person, but still, I'm like, wow. I think I was actually with you guys. I think I was over by you guys when I seen him come back from. I didn't even realize who it was. I just seen somebody covered in mud and had their shirt off, and I wasn't really sure. I'm like, oh, they must have fell down or something. It wasn't until the next
later,
whatever, that I found out that he took the dive. Basically, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, and the video of it, I got, and I wish I could remember who shot the video of it, but the video of it's pretty hilarious too.
Yeah, I know ExoCage got a picture or a video, but somebody else was right next to him as well and did. Orlando says you were lucky you didn't get hit by that big truck.
Oh, it wasn't like that. It was all right. Everything was fine.
Yeah, that one he was more than safe on. Now there was a couple of the other ones that there was some close calls. But there was other people with close calls too, because.
And my local guys were talking to me because I film the same way with my local guys. When we go out and we bash or whatever, I chase RC cars. It's just something I've done. That's how I film. And so, it was kind of funny because I was talking to those guys a bit about it, and I was like, "Look, you guys have hit me more times out there than I ever got. I never even got hit at USC. All those cars launched, I never got hit once. We go out 20 minutes with my local guys, and I guarantee somebody's gonna strike me."
Trying to see if I can find. I have a picture. It's not RC related, but just to sort of show, I guess you could say my little bit of my, I don't want to call it crazy side, but I've always been into cars. Anything with wheels and motors and stuff, RCs, cars, whatever, I've always been into. And so today, actually, I was I take part in what's called Rallycross. Some people may know what it is, some might not, but it's basically taking real cars and driving them off road. For some reason, I can't get the picture to come up, but so I was doing that today, and there's actually a picture of me in a $500 car that we bought a couple years ago for this, and I'm about 6 or 7 feet off the ground.
Oh wow!
Off of a jump, and it's a jump that was built for WRC cars, World Rallycross cars, but literally jumping it. And actually had the airbag explode in my face today.
Are you so okay?
But
so
I didn't stop. I kept going.
Just oh my god! So well, I mean, you kind of have to, don't you? I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, I'm a competitive person, especially when it comes to real cars. So I'm competitive. So I did not stop. I was mid lap. Did not stop. And awesome. After the first session, I was sitting in third place, about 10 hundredths of a second off of second.
See, and they call me crazy for chasing RC cars around.
And I'm jumping real cars.
Just high tank. Just to touch on that just briefly with you, I do know what you're talking about. My dad was an open wheel racer when I was a kid,
Okay.
And so I grew up around, sprint cars before they had wings.
Okay.
And dirt tracks and stuff like that. And I mean, we had a car dealership when I was in my late teens and stuff. And so I love anything that has to do with cars and vehicles. But rally is definitely something. I mean, when you're blazing along 110 mile an hour through trees, around corners and stuff, man, people, like you said, you think I'm crazy for chasing RC cars.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
And for anybody watching, that is a Chevy Cavalier. As I effectively call it, the Crapalier.
Yeah. Nice. I love it. That's
Hi, Tank. Welcome. But yeah,
So now-
that was me. And
so
they
now
got
you come down and the airbag goes off. I mean, how is the suspension on the car at this moment? I gotta ask, because I just feel like this is not good. Like I'm looking.
So let me also say this is not the first time I've had it in the air. Okay. So back in November, we were at this event as well. Me and my dad actually. So bought this car 2 years ago for this purpose, for $500, running and driving. And me and my dad's had the car almost, not quite this high, but almost this high off the ground himself. He wasn't racing the day. He was actually right after this event last year. He got rear-ended by somebody, and he's got a bunch of back problems. Probably gonna have to have surgery, so he can't do it right now. He was there with me today. So this was mid lap 2. I finished lap 2 and lap 3. So I finished my 3 laps for the morning session, and the car survived that. The suspension actually is in the suspension itself. The suspension's fine. Now I did end up messing up the lower radiator support and busted the radiator and the hose. So that it did finish my day that day or today. But suspension wise, the car is fine, and we'll fix the issues that it has and make it better and move on. But that was a blast in this picture.
Well, and of course I know you're sitting here and everything, but you're okay, right? I mean,
oh yeah. Yes, okay. And then I was wearing a helmet. The car does have a 4-point cage in it, so it's not, it does have currently just a normal, what you would have in a Cavalier for a seat and seat belt. I have a racing seat that we purchased and harnesses that will be going in the car for slowly making it safer and safer.
Thank goodness.
But no, I'm perfectly fine. I'm not hurting or anything.
Okay.
But I will say I sent it a little harder than I intended to send it.
Full send, Brian Marks. Yes, I agree. I love it.
Yes. And Orlando did not know Cavaliers could fly. I have a few pictures of that to pull. And unfortunately, I do not know how to not full send. I unfortunately do not.
I mean, racing is one of those things. It's kind of like you just have to. It's balls out. It's balls out. And if you can't live with that, you're probably not going to make it long in racing. So,
right. And you know what's funny? I came in, from my laps and bring it over to our pit and start looking at the damage. And I said to my dad, I said, "Damn it, I messed up the car." And he looked at me and he goes, "That's what this is all about." He's like, I was like, "Yeah, but I sent it too hard." He goes, "But you were supposed to. You were supposed to try to be faster than you were the time before." Like, yeah, you're right, but dang it.
Is it? I believe Mario Andretti said something like, "If you don't bring back your owner the steering wheel every once in a while, they don't know you're doing your job."
Yeah, I agree. And I will say I bought this car for $500 for this purpose. And in fact, the first event we took it to 2 years ago, we said, "Hey, it's $500 car if we wrap it around a tree." So
there you go. Yeah.
But
I mean, as long as you're safe, that's the biggest thing. But yes,
safe,
absolutely.
And I had a blast.
Man.
I had a blast, like absolute blast. So absolutely fun. I have to say, I know this is outside of RCs, but if you ever get the opportunity to try Rallycross, it's so much fun. It's like
It'll definitely take your breath away.
absolutely. And I have to say, I mean, RCs don't compete quite the same way, but I am very I'm competitive when it comes to cars. I've been drag racing cars, actually track, like road course tracking. I unfortunately, I hate to say I have a thing for Cavaliers because I have two of them that are both that color. But my other one's a lot nicer than that one, and has a supercharged motor, and I track it on a road course. Me and my dad both.
Oh, cool.
And stuff. So like I have, I guess, a little bit of an adrenaline fix junkie piece to me, that I like. I love going fast. The faster I can go, the better I feel. Honestly, I've been up to 160 miles an hour in a car before.
Ooh, that's moving right along.
Yes, it is, absolutely. But I love that kind of stuff. So, and it translates to the RCs at the same time. Like there's still wheels, tires. Still controlling it.
Absolutely. Is it? There is a rally cross RC, isn't there? I mean, I've seen the videos and stuff where they chase the cars down the track.
Yep.
Now, I mean, I don't mind chasing cars for a jump, but all the way around that track.
Yeah,
oh, man,
absolutely.
Those guys have it. But yeah, some of that stuff I know there was one gentleman, and I can't think of his name, but he shoots that rally car just so well. It looks like real Rallycross.
Well, so, I know Adventure Time has me and him talked about it this past weekend. He has a I think it's a Traxxas rally RC.
Okay.
He's had some videos of as well, and I'm actually interested in getting one. So there's some it translates in a small way to that. So, but that was my day. Unfortunately, I went home early because I was in it too hard. But still, it was worth it. It was fun.
I was a mild four-wheel drive enthusiast for a long time before I got into RC. I drove Suzuki Samurais for a long time.
Nice.
And I've done little lifts like shackle reverses and stuff like that, and just minor engine work. Redo it ahead and put in pistons and whatnot, just little stuff here and there. But I learned a lot about crawling and four-wheeling long before I ever RC'd. So that was kind of helpful when I did get into the RC world. I did understand quite a bit more about what I was doing. I mean, I'm not good at gear ratios, but I really enjoy crawling myself.
Yep. No, I have to say, before I got into crawling roughly 2 years ago, I've been into RCs. I mean, I guess probably to a certain extent since I was a kid. I mean, I had RCs as a kid, and I had my first hobby grade RC was a Duratrax Evader that I got probably about 12 or 13 years ago. And I know that Gabe also had an Evader back in the day. We've discussed this before. And I had that, and I've always been, I guess, a little bit of a speed junkie, and I tried to make it too fast and couldn't keep it together, and it parked it. And I now have a son, and a couple of years ago, he's seen it sitting in the garage and was like, Dad, let's get it running, wanting to do that. And I did get it running, but still having issues. So I picked up another RC, but it was like a 40-mile-an-hour RC. My son wanted to drive it, and I'm like, that's a little too fast for you right now. So I had already been sort of thinking about crawlers. So I ended up purchasing a Gen 7 Pro really for him ultimately. But then I started playing with it and playing with it more than he was. And then when he wanted to play with it, I'm playing with it, and I didn't have one. So then I bought me a Gen 8. So we both had a crawler, and now I've got, I don't know, 15 RCs now, which I know is not as many as some, but it just keeps expanding. And yeah, I love the crawling. I'm competing in crawlers. I got a competition tomorrow, and it's the crawling. I don't know who it was. If it was Adventure Time this weekend. I like to bash like we were doing at the park. The stuff that's fun. Well, let's be honest. When you go bash, usually break stuff, right?
Well, I mean, we, I do BSRC productions, but yeah, we have a little saying there that's the faster you go, the more you break.
Yes, yes. And that's in real life in cars too.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
But absolutely. The nice thing, I mean, you're always going to break stuff in anything you do. And
Oh, sure.
still break stuff in crawlers, but typically speaking, you can go out and have a fun day of crawling and not break anything.
And you can go out and bash for 5 minutes and destroy your ride. So
absolutely. I mean, the whole weekend at USTE, I drove, I think, 6 rigs, and I didn't, knock on wood, I didn't break a rig. My basher, I did rip a tire, but considering what I did with it, that's nothing.
The balloon on them tires, though, jeez.
Yes, and the stock ones, those are stock tires. They're known for that.
So, one thing real quick, live RC under Warwick Racing. And then
I believe, is this the I believe the drag racing they're doing in Vegas, I believe. The RC drag racing. I believe. I don't know a lot about it, but I think that's what it is.
And then it'd be live soon, almost in 90 entries. Cool.
I think that's the one that almost
I saw all the cars
30,000.
in the picture. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Was it Pete? Is it Pete Lubbert? I think he's up there, and he keeps going live from Facebook and stuff like that.
Yep. And Brian Mark sent me a message privately earlier saying that Proline has been teasing new releases at. He called it King of the Streets, is what he called it. And by the picture, I'm seeing a Toyota Supra body front end and what looks like a Beetle.
I mean, I'm not allowed to say a lot, but I did see a few new things at USTE, so there are things coming out our way that I would be very excited for.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw a lot of, the Proline bodies. I know that showed the one picture of the F1 150, but they also had the other one I thought I took pictures of, the Gozer body, I think is what it's called, which is another one that's like comp related. That was really cool. There's a lot of great stuff at UST. So had a great time with everybody. Up with you and everybody else in your group. Getting to chat with some veterans. That was really one of the highlights for me, honestly.
Well, yeah, and like we said, I mean, that was probably, and that's kind of why I'm here. One of the most amazing things for us was the veterans we were able to bring, and give lodging to and feed and everything, and give rigs to and go crawling with. And the minute something went wrong, we took care of it. I mean, we did have a little issue out on the trail, but I think Nathan was spot on, and they fixed it within about 5 minutes, and we were going again. So I mean, they're just those guys being out there and letting them forget about their worries for those 3 days. Just an amazing experience for me. So
absolutely.
Go do it. I can't say it enough. Go out and do it. Go to UST.
Absolutely. And I know y'all had good people with you, like Nate, to take care of, issues with rigs, if you had them. From my previous experiences last year at USTE, anybody and everybody is willing to help. You've got an issue on the trail, off the trail. I did last year stripped a servo horn on the trail, and I'm carrying my rig off, and I had multiple people stop me. It's like, hey, I got tools in my bag. You need something? I'm like, a servo horn strip. But people I didn't know are stopping, asking, can they help me? That's the kind of cool stuff that happens there. And it looks like Gabe's checking out.
I see that there. Hey, Fern Solo.
Oh, Fern, welcome. Yep, Gabe, have a good night. It's my pleasure, and I'm glad that we was able to get JB on with us tonight. I think that's awesome. And Fern, welcome.
I know
you would have made the USTE this year.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I know he talked about coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know Javier wanted to be here. He said he was a little bit busy this evening, so.
And it was last minute. I mean, it was very last. I think I messaged him like 2 hours ago. So that's, on me. It was sort of, I was just thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I just laid down for a nap. I just got up from a nap, and I got all these messages on my phone, and I'm going through the messages, and there's one from Javier. Hey.
I'm definitely, I'm thankful, and thanks for being on.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. Anytime.
And glad that you were able to get on and talk about y'all's, what y'all are doing, which I think is phenomenal. And maybe in the future down the road we can do one. We'll plan it out and plan for it in advance, so it's not a last minute situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But we'll probably see. It's 10:51, so at 11 o'clock we'll close down.
You got it.
And before we do that, I'll let you, if you want to go through your sponsors again, if you want, by all means, or anything else you might want to.
Sure. Let me see if I can find my list here.
You would think by now you'd have that memorized.
Well, the thing is we just
keep adding
every time I turn around. We all, of course, he in Operation Lemon Charlie, we're always talking to each other all the time.
Yeah.
But every time I turn around, somebody's saying, "Hey, we got to add to this list. We got to add to it." And I tell you what, I can't thank all of you guys enough. John, even yourself. It's because of the support of people like you, we were able to do what we did this year, and we just keep growing momentum. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
I know. We're not going to turn down any support. We're looking for support everywhere. So we appreciate anything, and just sharing what we do is huge. So,
absolutely, I'm glad I can help in that little way. I'm glad I can do that, and I think I heard. Like for next year, y'all want to double the number of veterans y'all take. Is that right?
I do. I mean, growth is exponential, right? I mean,
Right.
we planned on giving 2 cars away. We gave 24 cars. We just want to double what we're doing. We always want to double down, just get bigger and bigger. So, and reach out to more people. Reach out to the fallen soldiers' families, the childs of, and our first responders and anyone in the RC community eventually who needs help. We want to try to reach as many people as we can, but so and it's because of the continued support, because of this continued list, that we get to do that. So,
which is awesome.
And that's I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I know I had said this prior to USTE. I'm going to say it now prior to next year's USTE, and because I'm not far from USTE, 2 hours basically, that and especially since you're taking more people, and I'm sure my rigs are going to increase by then anyway. But like I said, I took 8 rigs and I only used 6, and that was not at one time. If y'all need rigs to loan to veterans to have something to drive for the weekend, I got you. Or at least I got you for a couple, at least, at the very least.
And we always appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Because you never know, and that's the thing too. We did have a few loaner rigs, and we had extra rigs there. But if somebody's rig goes down, that's a bummer. That'll ruin your day instantly. So It's always nice that we got the support of people like yourself, and to if the rig dies, they've got something else they can crawl. They can at least be out and still having a good time. So.
Absolutely. So yeah, I brought one of my rigs I bought. I'll be honest, I brought it. I mean, I did. It's my TRX4 Blazer. I ended up running it on Sunday, but I brought it. I checked it over prior, and I'm like, this is the one. If they need a rig, this is the one. Because it's I won't say it's bulletproof, but it's a solid rig. It's not majorly modified, just minor things. But I'm like, this would be a rig. I know, I got no doubt that anybody can take this rig out and run for the day and not have an issue.
Right. Yeah. And then, I mean, that's definitely one of the things we look for in our veterans builds. So absolutely.
And it shows in the quality. I mean, I seen those rigs up close. Gabe's rig in particular, I checked. I say checked, but me and him talked a lot, and I was looking over it. I held his rig in my hand and was looking at it, and because I know he had questions. He goes, well, if I walk around here, talk to vendors, what do I tell them I got? So I didn't know exactly what the rig was. Javier come over and we verified what it was. And he's like, so what do I need to say? This is all you need to say if you want to find a part or upgrade or whatever. But I looked at his rig in particular really up close, and
yeah, some very nice stuff. I know Jeremy Kilborn put a lot of work into that rig, and there's a lot of trio parts on there and stuff. And it was just, it's definitely a well-built, well-made truck. And I mean, that guy, I just took to it like a fish in water. He can crawl. So
I hope I get to crawl with him here in the near future since he's up here in my area. Hopefully I can get the opportunity to do some crawling with him, because I know that's one of the things he's like, where can I go crawl? And when I found out he's from Jacksonville, I said, there's quite a few places in Jacksonville you can go crawl. And he's like, I've heard of, a few. And I told him, I was like, hey, there's these parks you can go to, just do trail riding, trail running with the RCs, type stuff. And we've got more specific crawling places as well. So I discussed that with him. So
very cool. Very cool. So yeah, really quickly, if you don't mind, I'd like to thank IERC Scaler, JJ Customs, Dixieland, D&D Sports, Reefs RC, 307 Scale Hobbies, Team Tactical Foundation, Carry All RC, RC Amigos, RC Pit Products, Johnny Rains, Eric Warren and Adventure RC Trucks, Scale Metal Supplies, Shen RC, Big Squid RC, Wrecker RC, Scalar Fab, Scale Audio Solutions, USTE, Helios RC, Bauhaus RC. Shout out to Mission 22 and the Wounded Warrior Project for all their support and all that they do for us. And I mean, like I said before, and I mean, I can't talk a lot about it, but there are more sponsors coming that we are very excited for. So
awesome. Look forward to that. And that list is definitely growing. I know from the first time I heard that list, not that terribly long ago, it's definitely grown. That's awesome. So, and again, anybody who doesn't know about 11 Charlie, I know quite a few people in the chat right now are people we know and definitely know. But if somebody that sees us later, check out their Facebook page, check out their website. They're doing great things for our veterans. Buy shirts, hats, stickers, patches. The sticker sheet, I bought one not too long ago. I've got the sticker sheet, which is a really cool sticker sheet. That who makes those for you? I forgot.
That's 307 Scale Hobbies. It's our Wyoming representative, Scooter Scott.
Yes. Yep. So I've got that. I've got the patch as well. So great stuff.
And they're great stickers. I mean, I know all the 11 Charlie, who's that? And it's funny you mentioned that, Fern, because honestly, the last time I checked, you could about Google us and start to find stuff about us. So I mean, we're definitely getting the word out there and helping more people. But like I said, it's because of you guys who show up and help support. So who's that, Fern? You know who that is.
Yeah, what you are doing is awesome. I love it. I think it's great, and I hope in the future I can hopefully help y'all. Hopefully even more. Definitely spread the word. Continue to spread the word. And I look forward to seeing what y'all do this year, going forward, and I'll keep watching y'all's Monday night. Monday night, 8:00 Eastern? Is that right?
Yes.
That y'all have y'all's live stream.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any special guests this week you know of, or anything you're allowed to say?
I'm behind, to be quite honest.
That's fair. It's been a busy week, right?
But it seems like I somehow managed to get told things last, which is, I mean, that's not, I'm not complaining, but sometimes it makes my job a little difficult. So,
gotcha.
I'm sure I imagine I should say what I'd like to do is debrief from USTE, but I know that we did talk about some guests and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be an awesome show this Monday because we've got a lot to talk about. So
absolutely. I look forward to it. Sitting in the chat and seeing what y'all have to talk about. And I mean, y'all had some great guests on over the last just several months.
Oh yeah.
US Rob from USTE, Reefs RC, Scalar Fab RC. And I'm sure there's some I'm missing. Brian Parker was on not that long ago as well, which I saw he was at USTE.
Well, and I'd like to David and Derek, Bauhaus and Helios. Those guys are, David. David has so much energy. I like Derek quite a bit. So I mean, so much fun. We always have a good time over on the show.
Absolutely. You see it. That's awesome. So, all right, guys. About ready to done. If you've got anything else you might want to say to the people watching, welcome to do so.
Go to USTE, check out 11charlie.com.
Absolutely.
and John, thank you for having me on the show. Thanks Gabe and all for you guys doing Saturday Night RC Live. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on, and everyone watching, listening, thank you for listening, and I thank JB for being on, and until next Saturday, y'all have a good one.
Have a good night, guys.